Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father in Paleo-Ancient Hebrew, and Yahweh Shai being the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. His name is Paleo-Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the Apostle, this is a great millstone that will well. Salutations to you, brothers that go out and preach, teach, prophesy this word of truth and sincerity, put our lives on the line in these last days to bring you this raw and this uncut truth. You few brothers and sisters that may see this is Ariaga from the Grand Rapids, Michigan camp here with another nifty lesson. All right, this one will be going into, basically going into the divide that's between Negro, so-called Negro and so-called Latino communities, and what's been exploited for hundreds of years is the fact that we are, so-called blacks and Latinos and natives, we're brothers and sisters, man. We're not cousins, we're not distant relatives, we are brothers and sisters. And unfortunately, Esau is our brothers and sisters as well, so-called white man. And we all four of us are closer in biblical bloodline as brothers and sisters as than we are with the so-called Africans, which would be Hamites in the Bible. All right. And basically what I wanted to point out in this lesson is that this divide you have between us is basically is going to ultimately push Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes together. All right. This is why it has to happen. And through the recent plight, I've been looking at, many different videos of how, basically Latinos asking so-called blacks, why aren't you guys helping us out? Why aren't you marching for us and helping us, And I saw multiple replies and comments and things like that. But what I wanted to definitely point out is the fact that these social differences, that divide that's been placed between us, is that wall is being broken down as we speak from the enemy, constantly oppressing us. All right, constantly breaking us down. We are the Lord's chosen people, and one thing that the whole world fears the most is seeing us come together. Because even as separate nations, Negroes, Haitian, out of the 12 tribes, each 12 tribe, each one of the 12 tribes are large enough to be their own separate nations. Negroes, Latinos, and natives, and what we're made up of. Dominicans and Haitians and Jamaicans and so-called Venezuelans and so on and so forth. We are all separate nations ourselves. So for us to come together is Esau's biggest nightmare. He don't want to see that happen. That's why he's kept us at variance with each other for so long, so he can profit off of our separation and break us down individually. That has been their plan. That has been their goal. That has been their agenda. And now that we're at the very end, all of that is being broken down systematically. And for those so-called Latinos that's asking, the so-called Negro, why aren't you marching for us? Well, one of the things that'll be addressed in this video is that very thing. So I have a couple videos based on, the replies of certain Latinos and how they feel about it and putting in their 2 cents about it. And I've seen many of the so-called Negro ones, and they're just basically like, we tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, where was y'all at when we was in perils and in jeopardy and getting fucked up by the police? The majority of you would nowhere be found. And that's true because I grew up in California. I grew up in a barrio at times, man. And let me tell you something. Um, they didn't fuck with us. With the George Lopez, he had a joke that said, "There's two things in unwritten rules in the Latino community: don't bring a black person home and don't park in front of our house." You know what I'm saying? Like that was some real shit growing up, and that's all off of the stereotypes that Esau placed in Latinos' heads. Just because you light brown and two shades from white, brown light and two shades from white, they set in your mind that you better than us. But then they turned around and put a foot dead in your ass and are treating you like this because that's what Esau does. When he's done with a nation or he's done with a certain sect of people, even his own, they shit on them or kill them off and throw them to the side. So let's get into it.
Don't call me baby. I'm not your baby.
Yeah. But why isn't the black community standing up for us like us like us Latinos did for BLM? Did nobody see them out there in that BLM shit? And because that BLM shit, was a government psyop that they utilized to basically that they utilized to basically bring about division and once again represent the LGBTQ community and empowering so-called black women and put them over so-called black men because that was the mission statement on their website, loosely translated, and it had nothing to do with the so-called black man unless you was a homosexual. Okay, this is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Israel being the 10 tribes, which are made up of Native Americans and Latinos. And Judah, commonly referred to as Judah, were the southern tribes, which consisted of so-called Negroes, Haitians, and so-called and the so-called Jamaicans. We were oppressed together, and we still are. So there's no separate fights and movements, but that wedge that's been placed in between us. The Most High is making that stick one, and on that stick is North and Southern Israel. The northern tribes and the southern tribes are becoming one because of this oppression, which is an awesome thing. This is why it has to happen. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go." Historically, we have been oppressed together, and we still are. All right. And these devils know that they're not going to just let us go. They didn't have no, hey, we have this national return back to where we stole you from today because, and give you reparations. You keep looking for, this devil to repair you. That's what reparations is, and give you this or that when they know that they still need you and they still oppress you and keep you in this broken condition so they can benefit, or so they people can benefit off of that. Jeremiah 50 and 34, the Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give them, or give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. And today, America's present day, Babylon and Egypt. All right, let's keep going.
I need you to watch this video all the way through because it's important for everyone, no matter what background, no matter what you believe. I need you to watch this. A few days ago, I made a video about unity. You can go look at it. It's called "We Are Stronger When We Unite." And the overall message of that video was, if all of the minorities, especially particularly the Black community, if we came together with Latinos, just how powerful could we be? What are the things that we could change? What is the impact that we could create? I was coming from a, hey, if we unite, we can do a lot. And the Black community showed up and they had a lot to say, and it wasn't great. But I'm thankful because they clarified that in my message, I missed very important context that changes, or more so, speaks to the truth of where we're at. We are in a very important place in history. We are in a position where how we organize, the things that we do now, today, tomorrow, in this administration, is going to determine a lot. Go back, look through my video, watch the comments. But if you notice, the overwhelming numbers that you'll hear is 92%. 92% being the amount of people in the Black community who overwhelmingly voted for Harris. Now you compare that to the 46 to 52%.
And I do want to clarify that on some real shit. It don't matter if Trump or Harris got in there, because they all represent that same great reset agenda and ushering in the mark of the beast in this new world order. So it didn't really matter and shit, you know. But for context's sake, majority of Latinos did vote for Trump. Let's keep going.
Of Latinos that voted for Trump. I was asking for them to come help us. And their response was, first of all, we've been doing this a lot longer than you. But second of all, you can't even help yourself. Why would we come and help you? And after reading through 150 plus comments and responding to most of them, it really dawned on me that they're right. They have been organizing and fighting and responsible primarily for the progress of this country for hundreds of years. And for us Latinos, we can't even get our house in order. We can't even agree on who we should vote for and who has our interest in mind. And not to mention now with these protests, I'm seeing people burning American flags. Why would you burn the flag of the country you're fighting so hard to stay in? Why? We are proud Mexicans. We are proud Latinos. I understand the flags because it represents who we are, but we should also be flying American flags because this is our home. This is my home. I've been here for 32 out of my 33 years in life. It is not us versus America. It is us fighting for what America is for us. And it is us learning to unite and support each other and organize. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of conversations that we need to have, and we need to unite and organize and do a better job of moving in the same direction, moving in the direction that is going to be good for all of us. So a lot of the comments were, don't come and ask us for help. Take care of your own house. Figure out what y'all got to do. This message has to be for you. And it was hard. It was hard to read through the comments. And
I'm going to be honest with you as well. Knowing my people, have some individuals that left comments, them niggas don't do shit. I have to say that. They might talk a good game and get out. They don't do a goddamn thing. For the leaders that did do something back in the day and that was killed and oppressed, and the people that followed them, so be it. And I'm not necessarily talking about the civil rights movement, okay? I'm talking about the individuals that really pushed the line, because the civil rights movement had its own ulterior motives that did a lesson on. And Martin Luther King found that out, you know, before he was assassinated. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going.
It's hard to comment back. It was hard to hear it again and again and again, but I'm so grateful for the Black community that showed up and had this discussion, because they're right. And you know what? We do need their help, but we need to learn how to organize the way they did. Instead of asking them for help because we're the ones in trouble now. We need to learn how to organize ourselves. And more so, before we can ask anyone else to jump to our aid, we need to learn to jump to our own aid, and we need to learn to be there and support other people before we ask anyone else to come help us. So for all of the people who commented, we're sitting this one out as a Black community, y'all figure it out. I get it. And I think it's right. I think it's right because we as Latinos, we have to do a better job of supporting each other. We have to do a better job of organizing. We have to do a better job of proving that we can unite and we can organize under a common cause. And not just because we need it, but because it's good for everyone. And when our Black brothers and sisters are there and they're going through it, we have to show up for them. Unity starts with us setting the example. It starts with us making the changes that we need to make in order to help ourselves. Because other people are going to be a lot more willing to help us if we're organized, if we're moving in the right direction, and if we're doing things for others because it's the right thing to do. So if you are a Latino and you are someone who wants to make a change, and if you're someone who wants to see America be better for us, we have to learn how to organize within ourselves. We have to learn how to better understand what it is we want and do it the right way. Stop burning American flags. Organize. Learn to support each other. Don't vote because the things that he's saying, the hateful things, the hateful rhetoric doesn't apply to you. Don't vote for just what's good for you. Vote for what's good for your own family, your own loved ones, even if you don't have any family that's undocumented. We have to come together and we have to learn that until we are voting for an America that is good for everyone, it's not going to be the America that we want to live in.
And that's never going to happen. Sharing this individual will vote for America. Look, voting is bullshit to our people anyway because the elites are going to put in who they want. It's really just a census. They send that voter form around to your household trying to get you to register. That's a census. And the Most High is against that. Counting the people, okay? Because any vote that you put up, it doesn't fucking matter. All it does is serve to provide more division. When one side wins over the other, then they'll be looking at the other side like, see, y'all motherfuckers didn't do shit. And then when that person that's voted in starts messing up and doing all kind of wicked shit, then they want to say, then the other people from the side that lost want to look at them and be like, oh man, see, because y'all voted for him, it's y'all's fault. We should have had this motherfucker. We should have had Kamala in. It don't matter, man. Y'all trying to vote for the lesser of two evils. And at the end of the day, both of their asses is evil. And there's no good that can come from that, especially in this wicked place. All right, let's continue.
We have to come together and we have to learn that until we are voting for an America that is good for everyone, it's not going to be the America that we want to live in. So yeah, I learned, and again, I've said it before, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I made that video. I'm grateful that I had so many people reach out, and you know, the love and support from that community that I felt once we had conversation, once people DM'd me and we had a chat, it was incredible. They've done so much for all of us that we don't even notice. We've benefited so much from the Black community and all of the effort that they've put in to make this country one where people like us are more accepted. It's our turn. It's our turn to lead the charge. And not just because we're the ones being attacked right now, but because we have the numbers, but because we have the power. And I think once we learn to organize, once we learn to row in the right direction, to take the charge in fighting for everyone's rights, then the Black community and every other community is going to be much more open to unifying with us. It may take time. We may not agree. We may not get a lot of this right, but I think we have to want it. And I think we have to step out of our own personal bubbles and step out of this, not my battle, not my fight, because it is. So, to all of those in the Black community who saw my video, who commented and said, take care of your own house, talk to your own people, I appreciate it because I think that's what we need to do.
So yeah, I commend that brother, man. You know, I commend that Latino brother because he gets it and he took that with a grain of salt. Now, mind you, like I said, there's a lot of individuals in that them comment boards that's just talking shit, you know what I'm saying, and the things they saying, and they not gonna bust a fucking grape. You understand me? A lot of them niggas ain't gonna do nothing. They're gonna turn around as soon as this food get fucked up and they're gonna be tearing at each other's throats. But my point in being, as a majority, these race wars and these things that are building up are gonna push us together as a people. A house divided cannot stand, as the word says, man. But at the same time, can two walk together, least they be agreed, as the scripture says. So if your belief structures ain't the same, we can't unify. Motherfucker over here believing white Jesus, and then your ass over here believing Allah and all of this goofy shit. No. But in a whole, well, worst come to worst, my peoples come first, and that's Israelites. You understand? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives, regardless of their skin color, when I say that. And that verse should mean. This is Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall send his hand again, a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the departed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. We are scattered to the four corners of the globe. And you got to think all of these migrants, even Haitians and Jamaicans are mixed up amongst them. You got Judites from over in Africa that came over here and came in as migrants that are being rounded up as well. You even got Israelites from over in Ukraine and China that look like so-called Ukrainians and Chinese people, but they bloodline go back to being Israelites. That's what that means. We scattered to the four corners of the globe, and we all coming together in this one wicked ass place. This is why it's happening. This is why that ultimate roundup is going to take place. Do you understand? Because it's prophecy at its best. It says the envy also of Ephraim, right? Because just like the southern tribes is referred to Judah, because that's the head tribe of the southern tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The head tribes of the 10 tribes was Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans, right? So that's why they just refer to them on the first name basis, Judah and Ephraim, right? Because they referring to the two heads and all the tribes that fall underneath that. It says the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. All right. So this has to happen for that to take place because we're at each other's throats and it's ridiculous. But the Most High is making this unravel take place so that we can get on the same page. But this is the only way that that's going to transpire. Okay. So it said the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off and Ephraim shall not vex Judah. All right. It says Ephraim shall depart and their adversaries. Who is these adversaries they keep talking about? It starts with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, according to the Bible. They're the ones in the middle rubbing their hands together like Birdman, benefiting from us going at each other's throats. Do you understand? Because it strengthens their nation and their power structure, and it keeps us from unifying. And without that unification, we are in shambles. All right. Let's keep going.
So we have a discourse going on between, I think, majority like Mexicans and the Black community. And I just have to say to my Mexican people who are asking why the Black people are not like protesting with us or whatever, why? Why would they?
And I'm being honest, I feel that because I grew up, here and there getting called negrito and mayate. That's just nigga in Spanish, and mayate means black beetle. Okay. Yeah, we went through that. But it's not all one sided because Judah loved to jump on the Latinos too, calling them wetbacks, and they learned that word from Esau, beaners, and all of that type of shit. See, Esau's the one that put that divide. He come up, he the one that instigated. Because guess what? When the so-called white man look at these Mexicans, so-called Mexicans and Venezuelans and all of that, they call them niggas too. So we all niggas in the eyes of Esau. All right.
92% of their women voted for Kamala. 80% of their community of men voted for Kamala.
And I'm gonna say something like this: the same motherfuckers that voted for Kamala voted for Biden, bitch ass. And what did it do? Not a goddamn thing. About a whole bunch of homosexuals and transgenders and all this weird shit walking up and down the street, seeing all kind of freaks and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that did do shit anyway. That sorry bitch wasn't going to do a damn thing for you, but further push that agenda. Instead, he's just gonna make it so we gotta stand around and look at all these weirdos and shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta cover your children's eyes and shit like that, and feel. So I can't say that thing about Trump. At least this motherfucker said, he had to pass a goddamn law that separates men. There's only two genders. They have to make it into a law. Even roaches and bed bugs know that there's only two genders. But y'all want to vote for this bitch and shit, so y'all can hopefully hang on to these benefits a little bit longer and shit, which wasn't gonna happen. Let's continue, man.
60% of Latinos voted for Kamala. And I believe the majority were women and the majority were Mexican. But that number
and all that voting bullshit ain't never did a goddamn thing for. Oh, we voted Obama, and what the fuck did he do for us? Oh, Beasley with his big ass head, his light bulb shaped head. That nigga shit, he's not even a Jake. He's not even an Israelite. That shit didn't do nothing for us, man. He over there starting all these secret wars and shit and still stabbing you in your ass, man. So before you say, oh, we are Obama and we are one black person, he ain't do a goddamn thing. And I'ma say it, yeah. That Michelle is Michael Obama had this tranny up in there with him with his weird ass and all. And Barry Santoro was coming out letting them know he was a homosexual and he been getting splashed on by that devil anyway, obesity. So it don't matter, man. He's an ass amigo too, a mudslider. Let's keep going, man. I had to clarify that.
Is crazy, considering that Hispanics and Latinos are becoming the fastest growing minority. Like, we are going to be the majority soon. And it's crazy for me to think that
we are already the majority. We've been the majority, so-called Negroes and Latinos. We've been the majority. You know what they call that? They consider that the majority and the minority because that means minor in importance. We've been the minority because we weren't important according to this government's policies and Declaration of Independence. That's how we're minors, the minorities. We always been the goddamn majority. So I don't get that twisted, man. Let's keep going.
That number was so fucking low. And now you're asking where the black community is when they're the ones who try to avoid this. Hello? They try to avoid this. We all tried to tell you guys, even within my own community, I'm talking to you guys because I did the work. And I know other Latinas who did the work. We were on calls every fucking week. We were writing postcards. We were making phone calls. And you guys were probably nowhere in sight, my Latino community, and now you're begging the Black community to come help us, to come save us. No! I think it's time we learn to save ourselves and let the Black community rest. Because my God, have they not done enough fucking work? So, yeah. Where were we during the George Floyd protests? Or the Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland? When their community was getting killed, where the fuck were we? Because I do not remember seeing any Latin people out there. Now, maybe there was one or two of y'all. I don't remember seeing any Mexicans out there. So why should they put their time, their energy, all of this into helping a group of people who didn't give a shit about them when they needed our help? Think about that. Also, where the hell are all your Latinos for Trump at? Because I see a lot of you.
He was making all them damn songs. Donald Trump, hey, Latino, Donald Trump had a video on that. That's where they was at. Dancing and making songs, voting for Trump, and now he putting the foot directly in your ass. That shit is embarrassing, man. There's no more embarrassing than my president is black, my Lambo is blue. Yeah, because he was black don't mean he gave a fuck about you. Keep going, man.
Guys crying on here that you regret your decision. He lied to us. He used us. Where the fuck are you? Are you out there protesting? Because you motherfuckers are really the ones who need to be out there. You guys. And all your fucking regrets for voting for him with your dumbasses. So before you guys start wondering where the Black people are, wonder where the fucking Latinos for Trump are. Where the fuck are they? That should be the question we're asking. So we have a discourse going on.
All right, and shout out to her, this young woman. Shit. Hey, they seeing it, and then they rallying their people. We are all those people, but I speak individually, you know what I'm saying, because that's the way our tribes think right now. But that's just for now, because trust and believe, the longer this shit goes on, the more the Most High is going to bring us together in the face of adversity. This is why the scripture had to come to pass the way it did. Zechariah 12:7. It says, Yahweh also shall save the tents of Judah first, then the glory of the house of of David, and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. Okay, Judah is the head tribe. So-called Negroes, they're from the head tribe, the same tribe that the Lord is from. He had to raise them up first because they were in such low regard to the rest of the planet just because they were darker than everybody else. They used that. Esau weaponized that with his weird looking ass. They weaponized that. Well, look how black these niggas are. They can't be. They dirty and filthy. Matter of fact, in 1823, the mid 1800s, where they started saying, black and white. You know what I'm saying? Calling themselves white and calling, our people black. You know what I mean? When we obviously just different shades of brown and they just red because their blood show forth through their skin. Then they started using that. They was, oh man, these niggas ain't, these niggas ain't shit. They black as hell, man. They some demons. Yeah, man. That's why the Most High had to, raise up the tents of Judah first. Hold up. Now check this out. This is Genesis 49. We're going to start at 8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. That's why they're asking you for help. So, I can get where Judah's coming from. I'm going to tell you like this, man. But you so-called Negroes and and including you Haitians and Jamaica, so-called Haitians and so-called Jamaicans. We all over here, y'all be eating those motherfucking strawberries and them blueberries and shit year round. Okay? Are you talking all of that shit? Y'all niggas love to eat them collard greens and all that shit, but y'all not growing that shit. And y'all sure as hell ain't getting your black ass out there into them fields and harvesting it. I grew up next to a strawberry field in Cali. Let me tell you something. I ain't never seen a so-called black face out in them fields picking that produce, but I see a nigga lining up 2 or 3 things of strawberry, tearing that shit up year round. And I say year round because here I live in Michigan now. Hey, unless your ass is going to the farmer's market, the majority of that stuff is coming from warm climates where it's warm year round, like California. And once again, they use migrant workers to pick that shit. You understand? So stop vexing them. Because, nigga, you need that too. And y'all Latinos, y'all better get rid of the negrito and mayate. Y'all better just get that shit out your fucking, out of your vocabulary. Because this is the same ones you asking for help for this very reason, according to prophecy. See, both sides got to get their shit together. Y'all need to realize you Israelites, first of all. You're not black, you're not Latino. Latino is a Greek word, right? Started by the Greeks when they were slaves to them. That's what they called them. All right? So let's get that shit together right now. But yes, Judah is the head tribe. And it said, like it said, thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Right. What you think? Come on, man. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Hey, when they out there, when we get a hold of them, it's gonna be lights out, baby. That's the biggest thing that Esau fears because he already know when these niggas get started, man, they gonna fuck some shit up. They starting out by fucking up their own stuff. But when they get realize who the real enemy is, Esau, they gonna, oh shit, here they come. Okay, and you Arabs and you Asians ain't getting off easy with that shit either, cause y'all was right there with Esau, putting a foot deep in our ass all throughout history. Y'all took us in captivity too. Okay, it says, um, Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey, my son. Thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Right. And that's all this shit is doing is rousing Judah up. And it's going to take them to bring in that market of beasts and start fucking with your benefits and kick you out of your households before they get the picture. But that's right around the corner. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. And that's Yahweh Shai, man. Gathering of the people is to Yahweh Shai. They just changed that image. And they love, Latinos love putting that white Jesus and touchdown Jesus face on them candles and shit. And this white woman supposed to be, the Lord's mother and shit, the Virgin Mary and all that other shit. All of that is blasphemy, man. That's another reason why the Lord is fucking you up now, because y'all got to stop that shit. All that Catholicism, it's spiritual crack Christianity, it's plantation Christian, all that bullshit is the reason why we getting fucked up by the Most High in the first place. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Says, binding his foal onto the vine and his ass coat onto the choice vine, right? That's Yahweh Shai. When you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, he washed his garments in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine and his teeth white with milk. Okay? Just like they also quoted in Revelation 1 and 13. Or was it 14? Or it might have been further down, but it's in that same area. Okay? They talking about Yahweh Shai, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. And for the ones, what I was talking about earlier, so far as you love to eat them fruits year round, this is the 14th verse. of Genesis 49. Issachar, with so-called Mexicans, is a strong ass crouching down between two burdens, right? Hold on, I messed it up. It says Issachar is a strong ass crouching down between two burdens, and he saw that the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. So when they talk about needing some servants to fix some shit up, to go do some great works and stuff, they're the best workers. So you talking all that shit, realize, just like how, on the backs of the so-called Negroes, this blood, sweat, and tears, this country was founded. When you look at all of that hard labor, all these construction and all of that shit, let me tell you something. You need them as well. So stop talking that shit, because we need each other. You understand? And to follow up on that scripture, I did want to use this video as well, because they are the best laborers on the planet. I don't care how you cut it. Everybody know that. I don't see you niggas lining up, like I said, to do half of the jobs that they bring those migrant workers in to do. So cool out.
Look what I've got to fix. Another job done by brown people. You should talk a lot of smack about brown people and the quality of their work. So I went looking through your profile to see if I could find the reason for that chip on your shoulder. And I noticed you posted this picture. I noticed you posted the picture, but not the charges. These ones.
Let's see. Always blah, 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 blah. His charges were home repair fraud, $500 bond. Home repair fraud, $500 bond. Home repair fraud, $500 bond. Total bond, $1,500. Now, this devil had the nerve to start talking about his car and shit, and he is the farthest thing from being something. Let me point something out. This is Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right, that's you so-called Negro. I mean, you so-called white people, man. Okay, y'all did that. Hold on. All right, this is what I was looking for as well. Psalms 50 and 20. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Yes, like I said, we are Jacob, they are Esau. We are brothers. They trying to make us brothers with Africans, and we only cousins with them. So you, once again, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son. This is a perfect example of that. This devil had the nerve.
Look what I've got to fix. Another job done by brown people. You should talk a lot of smack about brown people and the quality of their work. So I went looking through your profile to see if I could find the reason for that chip on your shoulder. And I noticed you posted this picture. I noticed you posted the picture, but not the charges. These ones.
Crush.
3 separate bonds for roofing fraud. I found that interesting, so I did a little more digging and found this. "100 months in the state penitentiary for theft by deception." You look so sad in that picture. Was it because you knew that your Sully Bubba was going to plug your hole the same way you plug the holes in a roof? Probably not, because you don't actually fix roofs, do you? You're an unlicensed contractor who does this. You take money for work you never planned to do, including $8,000 from a 67-year-old woman who wrote you a check that you cashed, but never showed up for work. Instead of worrying about the quality of work of brown people, maybe you should spend a little more time worrying about the white man in the mirror and the content of his character. Have the day you deserve.
Yeah. Hey, this car killed him because I used to do construction. Let me tell you something. All them pipes that you use in your house, a lot of them pipe fitters are so-called Mexicans. The ones, when a white man do a bad job and they put the protractor or they put the balance on there to see if the building is actually is actually even and it's off. You know what they do? They got to tear all of that shit down and they bring in so-called Mexicans to build that shit back up. Okay, so calm down with all of that loud talk. And I got one more video because I wanted to point something out. This is something that I grew up around, I grew up seeing, because in Southern California, yes, the Latinos, especially when you get locked up, they do have the numbers. And they quick to pop off and call you a mayate or hey, get caught in the wrong hood, they'll jack your ass up. Judah is more offering. They might talk a little shit here and there, but Judah is more accepting of other nations to a fault, I would say. But even more so, this is something. But they talk they shit too, and I ain't saying they be fucking up them Latino doing some fucked up shit too. So that's not to give them no pass. But things like this happened a good amount because you grow up in a area that's predominant. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see things like this of one people according to the other. Check this out.
Prepares for a second surgery this week.
My eye is doing so much pain. My eye and my nose.
Sunday night, the girl had emergency surgery on her eye. She and her mother say the injuries happened after neighbors hosting a Mexican Independence Day celebration used a racial slur against the African-American family.
Mayate. Nigger.
That word shouldn't be used towards us. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be used towards anybody. Nobody should use that word because that's a bad word.
A few minutes later, two women allegedly attacked the girl when she didn't move her 3-month-old Yorkie out of their way. The 6th grade honor student and cheer captain named her puppy Barbie. Washington and her mom say Barbie was stepped on by one of the women but survived. Then they say the aggressors targeted Washington.
I looked up. A bottle came towards my face, being thrown to my face.
11-year-old Trinity Washington prepares for a second surgery this week.
My eye is doing so much pain. My eye and my nose.
Sunday night, the girl had emergency surgery on her eye. She and her mother say the injuries happened after neighbors hosting a Mexican Independence Day celebration used a racial slur against the African-American family.
That word shouldn't be used towards us. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be used towards anybody. Nobody should use that word because that's a bad word.
A few minutes later, two women allegedly attacked the girl when she didn't move her 3-month-old Yorkie out of their way. The 6th grade honor student and cheer captain named her puppy Barbie. Washington and her mom say Barbie was stepped on by one of the women but survived. Then they say the aggressors targeted Washington.
I looked up. A bottle came towards my face, being thrown to my face.
Prepares for a second.
And that's some bullshit. I will tell you that. And you black women, y'all are the most unprotected women because you are some of the women that are quickest to leave your men or to choose the wrong suitor, a Tyrone, and he just want to smash and pass on you anyway. So your decision making skills is especially messed up in this kingdom because that's part of the curses. And other nations, or everybody takes advantage of that because they see you ain't got no help and nobody to back you up and what have you. And that's just adding on to that, but that's another story. And this is against Esau, Edom, right? Psalms 50 and 21. Those things hast thou done, and I kept silent, and thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. Yes, slavery, all kind of oppression, rape, rob, pillaging, and murder against us. They did that, and they figured they got away with it, so they thought the Lord was like them. Oh, he got to be a white man. Hey, ain't nothing happened to us, and we flourish, and we doing good. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. And that's what he's doing now. The Most High is setting us in order before their eyes. Isaiah 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again a second time and recover. Oh, no. I already read that. Excuse moi. All right, let me keep going. And I'm going to end it off with this right here, Obadiah 1:17. And upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessors. What does that mean? Refers to, you can go back and look at Revelation, the 13th chapter. He who taketh into captivity shall go into captivity. He who killeth with the sword must be killed by the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, right? So the who are possessors, right? Jacob shall possess their possessions. Possess their possessions. The house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. All right. And so the individual that took us into captivity, we're going to take them into captivity by the hand of the Lord in that day when he returns. No sooner. And Obadiah 1:18, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall be and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So ultimately, that's how they're gonna be done away with. The Heavenly Father is gonna bring us together, and we're gonna work together under His guidance, and we're gonna take Esau down. And after 1,000 years of captivity, they will be burnt up and will not exist, not one of them, according to the scriptures, man. Zechariah 9:11. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. And we are the prisoners, right? It says, turn you to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. We are prisoners of hope. We are prisoners in this place, slaves, captives, right? And they trying to take us back into hardcore bondage. That's their ultimate goal. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. Right, and that's the Esau Edom. When I have bent Judah for me and filled the bow with Ephraim, northern and southern tribes, right, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, Esau Edom, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man, and Yahweh shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall blow the trumpet and shall go with whirlwinds of the south. Right, because the Lord is going to bring in, he's coming back with a multitude of flaming chariots, so-called UFOs. Then it's going to be time. Okay? It says, Yahweh of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall drink and make a noise as through wine, and they shall be filled like bowls and as the corners of the altar. And that we're going to rejoice in that day when the Lord returns, starting with the elect, man. All right. That's why we praying we of the hopeful elect, because we want to be part of the first fruits, man. And Yahweh, thy power shall save them in the day, starting with the elect of him. All right. 144,000 and the 1/3. The rest of our people, as in Zechariah 14th chapter, they will be destroyed. 2/3 of our people will be destroyed in that day, because they wicked as hell. You can't tell these niggas shit. It says, and Yahweh their God shall save them in that day as a flock of his people. And they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his head, upon his land. For how great is his goodness and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young men cheerful, and new wine the maids. It says Yahweh shall save the tents of Judah first. All right, and we read that, but we'll read it again. Shall save the tents of Judah first, and the glory of the house of David, and the glory of the house of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not so magnify themselves against Judah. Right? In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of Yahweh before them, spiritual powers. You see X-Men and all that. Where you think Stanley got that idea from? From the Bible. Because in that day we will be superhuman beings. I'm talking about starting with the elect. Then in the kingdom, all of our people coming back in the kingdom, all you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. So even though 2/3 are destroyed on this side, when the Lord come back, we are all gonna be super men and women in the kingdom. Okay? It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. So I say all these other nations, you Asians and Asian nations and these Arab nations and all these nations, these Hamitic nations, all y'all gonna get your asses whooped by the Most High, the Lord. And He gonna bless us to put a royal foot in your ass in that day because y'all all had a hand in taking us into captivity. Psalms the 83rd chapter. You understand? So with that, I pray you would thoroughly edify. Until the next time, I bid you shalom.